I honestly never thought I would end up being a runner, but I guess here I am. When I was younger, I hated running. I did like sports in general and I played football for a good chunk of my life, but running always seemed very boring to me. You just run and it's exhausting and nothing really happens. Only later I came to realize that that's the whole point. When I was at university, I started going for runs sometimes to get some exercise in, but only sporadically. I still preferred other sports, like football for example. In 2017, I started running more regularly as part of my weight loss journey. And while I was really enjoying it, it was more the means to an end. I didn't have a set plan or routine and sometimes stopped running for weeks if it didn't conveniently fit into my schedule anymore. In November 2019, I finally had top surgery, which lifted a lot of weight off of my chest. Quite literally. I wanted to make the most of my newfound freedom and set a goal for 2020 to run half marathon. And this is where it all begins. Hey, what's up? It's Luka and welcome to this new video. Yay. So I started running regularly about a year ago and I thought now it's time to reflect and review my running process a little bit. It's already been a year, like that's so crazy. Running was literally such a big part of my year and I improved a lot, so I kind of want to share my journey with you and hopefully it inspires you if you also want to start running or any other sports for that matter. I remember when I had top surgery in November 2019 and then for like 8 weeks I couldn't exercise at all. It was frustrating because I was so excited to have like a flat chest finally, but then I couldn't do any exercise and I just like went on a million walks around my neighborhood and I was so sick of it. But then my 8 weeks of recovery time were over and I was so hyped to finally start running again. In a way it feels like it was yesterday, but anyways, let's start with the video. I'll try to guide you through my running journey step by step. First I'll talk about why I wanted to start running in the first place and then kind of talk about my goals for running. Then how I planned my training and implemented running into my daily life. I'll talk about my progress throughout the year and then what I learned from this whole running journey. And in the end I will give you some tips if you also want to start running. So why did I want to start running? Well, as I said earlier, I just had top surgery and like that was like life-changing for me. I've been dreaming about exercising again with like nothing on my chest that's like holding me back. Obviously I could still exercise before, but it's like a completely different feeling now. I was just really hyped after getting top surgery and I just really wanted to do something and like celebrate in a way. The time has come. Today I'm finally going on my first run of the year. It's been exactly 8 weeks now, so I think I should be fine running. I know I'm not gonna run 5k in 20 minutes now. But my ego somehow can't fathom the idea of only going for a 10-minute run. Also, I really like exercising in general. Like it has such a positive effect on like both my mental and physical health. I'm a trans guy for example and exercising makes me feel a lot more comfortable in my body, but I guess this applies to every other person as well. It just gives you endorphins. But it's also a good way to relieve stress and anxiety and I struggle with these things sometimes. So yes, I knew that it would be beneficial for my mental well-being and for my health. And another big reason for why I started running was that I really wanted to have a goal in life that I could work towards to and something where I could push myself and challenge myself. It's nice to have something in your life that you can be passionate about and that you can work on and improve on and that kind of keeps you going. Yeah, so those were the main reasons for why I started running, but I could think of like a million more reasons why running is a good thing. Okay, let's talk about my main goals for running. My first goal was obviously just to participate in the half marathon and like possibly also run a good time. It's the 1st of January 2020 and I'm just about to sign up to a half marathon. I'm just gonna do something that I've been wanting to do but that kind of scares me. I'm just gonna sign up and pay that fee and then there will be no more excuses why I shouldn't train for a half marathon. Should I do it? Should I do it? Oh my god. I did it. Oh my god, so I did it. Look here, that's me. Spoiler alert, that did not happen because of Corona. But aside from that main goal of running a half marathon, I just wanted to be more fit and more healthy in general. It's just a good feeling to exercise and it's good for you and it makes you feel better and I just wanted all those benefits. I also wouldn't mind having an aesthetically pleasing looking body. Spoiler alert again, running does not get you a sexy body. It's basically just cardio. Running might make you skinny, but I have zero upper body muscles. So if your main goal is just to look good, I would recommend doing another sport. And I think maybe I also romanticized this idea of like being a runner. I have this idea of a runner being like this super strong, cool person that gets up early on a Sunday morning, goes for a super picturesque run around the lake while the sun is rising, and then comes back home and has like the best breakfast ever. I really love breakfast and it tastes like a million times better after a run. Yeah, so my goals were to run a half marathon and get fit and sexy, and I don't think I have achieved any of that. I mean, maybe I'm fit, but I mean, I kind of knew this was coming, but the race is cancelled. canceled. It's not actually canceled, but it's postponed to November. And right now I feel a little bit weird, like I don't really know what to do with my training. So how did I structure my training? My first goal was to form a habit of running regularly, because I know habits are like the only way to long-term success. If you haven't read The Power of Habit yet, do it, it's life-changing. Yes, so motivation is really useful and important in the beginning to get started and to get you all hyped up and into the thing. But if you want to make long-term progress, it's really important to have habits and like routines, so you will keep doing the thing you're trying to do even on days when you're not motivated. And trust me, there will be days when you don't feel like going for a run, so it's very important to have like this habit of going for runs. If you have implemented the habit already, then you don't have to rely on your willpower so much, and it's also gonna be like easier, just easier for you in general. The next point also goes hand in hand with the habit thing, but you have to make being a runner part of your identity. If your brain thinks you're not a runner, you will adjust your behavior accordingly, and it's gonna be so much harder for you to stick with the habit of running regularly. But vice versa, if your brain thinks I am a runner, then you're automatically more likely to end up doing the things a runner does on a daily basis, such as going for runs obviously, but also prioritizing runs, eating healthy, and all those other things. So I try to work on incorporating this runner identity into my identity. I didn't really do any affirmations or journaling or any of those techniques. I just had a different mindset compared to what I had before. Another thing that was important for me was scheduling my runs in advance and kind of making them a priority. If your plan is like, oh, I'll go running more frequently now, that's so vague, that doesn't mean anything, and your brain probably can't deal with that. So I literally put my runs in my calendar like as if they were real appointments, and generally I tried going running in the mornings because that meant that it was out of the way for the rest of the day, and then if anything came up like spontaneously, I could just deal with it really easily, and I didn't have to worry about like, oh no, I can't do this now because I still have to go on a run later. Obviously you have to do what works for your schedule the best, but for me it's always easier to go running in the morning, and that's also a really nice start to the day. Like if you start the day with a run, it's nice. My first step was basically to get that regularity in, so I think in the beginning I went 3 times per week. By the way, apparently it takes around 30 days to form a habit, so I think the first month is a very crucial period for setting you up for success later on. And I'm pretty sure I also didn't do any specific trainings or like try to improve my running performance in the first month, but my main focus was just to get in those regular runs and make it a habit. And then later on I tried to incorporate different types of runs into my training to kind of like improve my performance. For example, I did a long run every weekend, and I tried to do some faster intervals once per week. That I didn't always do that, but I tried. And obviously I also tried to vary the speed and the duration of my runs to kind of like have a mix there. So did I actually make any progress? Yes, obviously I did, and especially in the beginning you can really see the improvements really quickly. It almost felt like I was getting better with each and every run. Now it's not like that anymore, but it was good when it lasted. Before I started running regularly, I was really happy when I did like 5k in half an hour. Like that was a good time for me. But after only a few months of running, I think I could do it in 22 minutes. So crazy. I haven't really trained for a 5k or anything, but like it's so cool to see those improvements. Also at the beginning I was so scared of doing long runs, like 10 kilometers seemed like such a long distance.
So I'm about halfway into my first 10k run. The weather is very fantastic. I think I'm doing quite good. I'm having fun. Nothing hurts yet, but I have absolutely no idea where I am. Never run this far in the park before.
I remember I was so nervous before my first 10k run, and even when I did it, like it was possible, but on those last few kilometers my legs were really heavy. But now like running 10k doesn't feel like a big deal at all to me anymore. It's just like, cool, I'll run 10k today, whatever. It's so nice to not be scared of long distances anymore. Like most of the time it's just in your head. Even though I actually never ended up doing the half marathon because obviously the race was cancelled because of Corona, I'm super confident that I could technically do it. I think the longest run I've done in training was like around 19 kilometers. I mean, that's almost 21, but no, seriously, I knew that I could just run 2 more kilometers if I really wanted to. But it was really cool when I was still thinking the half marathon was gonna happen and I was training intensively for it. I was trying to run a bit longer on my long runs every week or almost every week, and it was so cool to see how I could always run a bit faster or a bit longer. And yeah, unfortunately at the moment I'm not really improving anymore, but I'm also not training for a specific goal, and that's okay. I guess I don't always have to be improving as long as I'm happy. I'm still going for runs regularly, like around 3 to 5 times per week, but not with a specific purpose in mind. And I'm just chilling at the moment. Also, it's winter, it's like very slippery because of the snow. I'll probably start training more seriously again in the spring because this year I want to run a marathon. Because you always need to set your goals high, and I think a half marathon is like totally achievable. It wouldn't really push me outside of my comfort zone, and we want to be outside our comfort zone to grow. Right? So running a marathon is my goal for this year, but we'll see. Like once the lockdown is over, I will try to find a race. I don't have a specific race in mind yet. What did I learn from this whole running experience and how did it improve my life? I think first of all, it just reminded me again how important routines and habits are for our lives. I don't question myself at all anymore when I go for a run. I don't really have this thought process anymore of like, should I really go? But I don't really feel like it. But I just wake up, I get ready, and then I go for a run because I know it's my running day. It's very useful at the moment, especially because the weather is so bad and it's so cold, and sometimes I really don't feel like going for a run. But then I do it anyways because that's what a runner does. I just don't think about it too much and try to go out, and then the first couple of minutes usually suck, but then it gets better, and afterwards, like, I never regret it. Like, I know that afterwards I will always feel better, and that's really helping me and keeping it going and staying motivated. Obviously, it also gives me a lot of mental clarity. Like on my runs, I like thinking about like my life and contemplate my decisions. It's a really nice way to deal with stress and anxiety, especially because we're in lockdown at the moment, and just go crazy when I'm just inside all day.
I honestly think that if I wasn't running almost every day during this whole crisis situation, I might go insane. I really can't deal with being at home all day. It's so bad for my mental health. Like, I need to get out. God, it's so important. I feel so anxious all the time, and after a run like this, I feel like a million times better.
If it wasn't for running, I would feel so much worse right now, I think. I'm still not feeling super good about the lockdown, but at least the running is like helping a lot with improving my mood. Even if it's only temporarily, it's still helping a lot. I said this before, but as a trans guy, I don't really feel super comfortable with my own body, and running and just exercising in general helps a lot with relieving my dysphoria, and I just feel more comfortable in my own body, and that's really nice. It's also a really nice feeling when you see those little improvements and you achieve things where you never thought you could achieve them. It's just a really big boost for your confidence. I thought I could never run 10k or 20k or even a marathon. That just seemed impossible to me, but now it doesn't seem impossible anymore. I feel like anything's possible, not just like related to running, but also in other aspects of my life. I feel more confident about things. And finally, I think running really teaches you persistence and patience, because progress isn't linear. Like, you don't get better like the same amount each time you run. Some runs are really good, then you get worse again, then you get better, but like overall you get better eventually. And again, it's like that with everything you're trying to improve in your life, not just running, but running just like you can visualize it very nicely. Okay, in the end, I just want to give you some tips if you're considering starting running as well. I know running is probably going to be difficult, especially the first few times you do it, and it's a really good attitude if you keep going even though it's hard. But if you're really not enjoying it, just go and find another form of exercise. I know running isn't for everybody. Even me, when I was a teenager, I absolutely hated running, and it was definitely, if I started running then, I wouldn't have enjoyed it. Now I really enjoy it, and I'm really happy to be a runner, but I know it's not necessarily fun for everybody. And if you want to stick with exercising regularly, I think the most important thing is that you enjoy the exercise. Even if you do manage to stick with it, like, what's the point if you're not having fun? There are so many other cool types of sports that you can try, and I also like to switch it up sometimes and try new sports. But if you do decide to start running, then I think the most important thing, especially in the beginning, is to start slowly. I know it's hard for your ego, it was also hard for me.
So I think I currently am on the slowest run of my life. But hey, I'm running.
I think I have this issue where I only feel good about myself if I achieve something. And obviously I know that just going for a run is an achievement. But in my head I'm just like, I could have easily done so much better. Especially if you go out there for the first time and then you get like overtaken by grandmas. But it's okay, don't look at those other people, just focus on yourself. Again, if you run too fast, you're not gonna be enjoying it, and then you're probably not gonna stick with it. Even though it's frustrating, you gotta start slowly because you need to think about the long-term success and not your short-term achievements. It's not a sprint, but a marathon after all. Haha, okay. And obviously, if you want to get serious about it, you should have a plan for it. Set goals for yourself, have a specific time and a specific day for your runs. Just go into it with a really clear and focused mindset. Oh, and bonus tip, look for an accountability partner if you can. It's always nice to be in it with someone together. Like, you don't even have to go running together. The other person doesn't even have to go running. They can do like yoga or whatever, but just team up with a friend and then report back to each other and hold each other accountable. That really helps. Okay, wow, that was fun. If you couldn't tell already, I'm really passionate about running. It's just so much fun and I really enjoy it, and like I feel so good. Sometimes I run through the forest and then I look up into the trees and I just feel like I'm the main character of a movie, and it's just mwah. But anyways, I hope this was helpful and you could take something away from this video, and maybe I inspired you to start running as well. I got a comment under one of my videos on TikTok yesterday, and the person said that they started running because they saw me running in one of my videos. That is literally the best feeling ever. Like, oh my god. Also, let me know if you have any questions about running, or you want me to make a more in-depth video about like any running related topics. And of course, if you want to see me run a marathon this year, then you should subscribe to my YouTube channel. I make videos about just my life and self-improvement and lifestyle, I guess. Sometimes some queer stuff as well. Okay, I hope you have a good day. Bye!